Hello and welcome to Back to School Night. I know everything looks a little different in this school year, but we definitely wanted to make sure I reached out and gave you the information that you might need for what's going to be happening in school this year. So let's start out with a little bit about me. My name is Mrs. Phillips, and I am your child's teacher. I have been teaching now for 6 years. I'm entering my seventh year of teaching. I taught the first 6 years in kindergarten, and now this is my first year in fourth grade, which is very exciting to me. If you don't know me from years past, I actually am a Springford graduate, so I have been in Springford my whole life. So it's been a very exciting ride, and I'm so excited to be able to give that education that I valued and cherished so much and pass it on to your children. So I live right here in Myersford with my husband and my daughter Anna. She is 18 months old and as wild as can be. We love her with all of our hearts. If we see you out and about, which I'm sure that we will, please be sure to give a wave. Don't be afraid to be shy. I'm sure my daughter will be the one yelling and waving hello. That's her favorite thing to do right now. And we also have a dog named Callie that is a ball of energy. So we have a lot going on at home, but it's a home full of love, and we hope to see you around here in Myersford. So some of our classroom goals are um, we really want your child to enjoy school. And what I mean by that is exactly that. I know that not everyone, school isn't their favorite or school isn't something that they find enjoyable throughout the day. But our goal here in fourth grade is really to make it an experience worth having. It might not all be 100% fun and games, but we're going to do our best to make sure that they find something about school that they really like and they enjoy their time while they are together. We do want them to feel safe and well cared for, whether that be at home or here in the classroom. Having a really safe environment for them to make mistakes and to learn and to grow is really important. We want them to feel respected by both adults and their peers. We want them to have an effective learning environment, and in order to do that, there must be rules. So, obviously, these are rules we'll go over together as a class, but I wanted you to be aware of what they were. This year, we have 5 rules: make smart choices, follow directions quickly, respect others and yourself, take pride in your work, and treat others the way you would like to be treated. So, what can we expect in math this year? Well, we are still teaching the Everyday Math series. So if your child has been here since kindergarten, that's the same series we've been teaching since kindergarten. In this year, we're going to be learning about multiplication, division, fractions, decimals, percentages, rounding, and word problems. The big change in thinking this year is we're really going to be asking them, how did you get that answer? We're going to be expecting a lot of writing in math this year, which I know is not everyone's favorite thing, but really exploring that, how did we get to that answer? Of course, getting the right answer is one thing, but there's a million different ways to get to that answer. So really broadening our minds and finding different ways to solve things is going to be a big part of math. We're also going to be working in cooperative groups, which is kind of different. You don't think of that too often when you think of math, but it's really important for fourth graders to learn to work together in a way that isn't just copying off of one another or having one person do the work, but really working as a team to get things done. And of course, there will be tests and quizzes throughout the time, but you would never have a test that isn't something we review first. So you'll get a review sheet. All of the material on the test will be things that have been taught. It should be things that they're comfortable with, so it really shouldn't be too stressful when that occurs. The grading system here is the same. It's for both math and reading. We have a 4-3-2-1 grading system. So on the report cards, when you're seeing 4s, that is well above what they should be doing. They know everything they need to know. 3 for that would be that they're right where they need to be. They know the material. They're coming along just fine. A 2 might be that they have missed a part of something, or it's not the thing they're strongest in, but they're working towards it. And a 1 would be something that they're really struggling in. And you would not see a 1 on a report card if we have not been in contact about a skill or we haven't been working on something significantly that you are aware of that area that they would be struggling in. So that grading scale goes for language arts as well. It's still a 4-3-2 and 1. Everything is skill based. So in our Journeys curriculum, which is also the same curriculum they've been learning since kindergarten, they have 6 units. So Each one of those units is broken down and it has short stories and skill lessons. So those will all be taught whole group with me. And then, of course, there will be reading groups and other things to come throughout the year as well. There is a lot of writing in fourth grade, so we're going to be working on all three forms: informative, narrative, and persuasive. The first of those we're going to talk about is narrative. So we'll be working on getting those 3 paragraphs into 4 and 5 paragraphs, and really writing a kind of cohesive paper where we're talking about making sure we have details, making sure we have transitions and conclusions and things like that. So when we get further into the fall, we will be doing novels. So hopefully we'll be in school by then. If not, I will make sure I get the novels to you. But we'll be doing class novels probably November, December time, depending on how we're working through the curriculum. And then the last thing we do with ELA are book reports. So we'll have 1 book report per quarter. I will get you more information on that as we get closer to that date, but I wanted that to be something that was on your mind so that you knew it was coming up. So what can you do to help as a parent? Really, your biggest thing you can do is make sure your child is prepared. So at home, making sure they have a quiet learning environment where they can focus and get done what they need to get done. When we enter the building back in the fall, hopefully, we will be looking for them to have their materials in their backpack that they need, have their snack and lunch, make sure that they got a good night's sleep, things that they will need to be successful during the school day. Another thing you can do is to have and set high expectations for them at home, as well as for what they're doing here at school. So we really push them to have a strong sense of responsibility here, which is the last one. So you can do that by asking them to do more. Don't be afraid to put responsibility on them and to ask them to do things and to be responsible for their own materials and for their own things and asking for help when they need it. All things that we're going to be working on this year that you can work on at home as well. So this is our current daily schedule for our virtual platform setting. In the mornings at 9, we will be meeting together to do a classroom meeting. In that meeting, we'll talk about morning announcements, we'll talk about what we're going to do for the day, sometimes we'll play a game, things like that, but that will always be live on Zoom altogether. That is also an important piece for attendance, so please make sure your child is up and ready at 9 with us. Then at 9:30, they're going to head over to their specials class online. Each day of the week during our red phase is a different special. So I will send you that schedule out. But we have, I think, RamQuest on Monday, Tuesday is gym, Wednesday is music, Thursday is library, and Friday is art. I think. Don't quote me. I will send them to you. But with that being said, instead of it being a 6-day cycle, every Monday would be the same special for them so that it makes it a little simpler while we're online to be able to navigate that. Then at 10 o'clock, you're going to be coming back to my classroom and they will be online with me starting at 10. Now, even though that ELA period is from 10 to 11:30, that doesn't really mean that they're going to be on a computer talking to me for an hour and a half. What that means is that's our time to do our ELA work. So we'll always start whole group. We'll start together on a Zoom. And then I might assign them a small group to work with for a little bit. I might assign them a writing thing to go try and come back, or a workbook page. So they're going to be in and out with me, but they won't be expected to be on the computer for an hour and a half during that time period. It'll just be work that they're completing. So don't be surprised if they're off doing a workbook or gathering something that I asked them to gather or working on a project or something like that. That is also what that time is for. Then they will have an independent work time from 11:30 to 12, either catching up on work that they didn't complete from the ELA, or I might give them something additional to look at or work on. Then it's lunch. Then we'll start again at 1 o'clock with math. At 1 o'clock, again, we're going to start on Zoom all together doing a whole group lesson, but that hour is not necessarily all online. What they're going to be doing is starting with me for whole group, then maybe doing small group lessons, maybe breaking out for a separate activity or a game that they're going to play. So it'll be in and out, and it'll be different things that I'm asking them to do during that time. And then 2 to 2:30 again, independent work, either things they're catching up on or need more time with, or an additional activity that I would give them. Then at 2:30, we'll start our afternoon check-in from 2:30 to 3. That'll just be going over our day, maybe sharing some of our work, talking about the next day and what things we need to do. And I didn't put it on this schedule, but from 3 to 3:30 then will be my what I'm calling my office hour. That will be the time that I am just kind of hanging out in a Zoom room that they're welcome to join if they have questions about something or an upcoming assignment, or if you have questions and you wanted to hop on and ask something, that will be the time for that. Sorry about that, Belle. Um, that sums up everything that I have for you right now. The last thing I just want to say is if you have any questions or concerns about anything that's going on in the classroom or material that's come home or anything at all, please feel free to email me. I'm always available by email. I do try and get back to you as quick as I can. Obviously, the evening hours are a little bit tough with a toddler at home, but um, during the day in particular, I'm pretty quick about responding when I have the time to do that. Um, Anything that comes up, please feel free to reach out. I'm always here. We can always set up a time for a phone call as well. I am just over the moon excited to be your child's first grade teacher this year. And if you should need anything, you know how to contact me. So